Welcome to AM. My name's Richard Conway, and this is the platform for age group multisport athletes to showcase their journeys. Welcome along to episode 37, and thank you for taking the time to listen to our podcast. I really do appreciate it, and if you like what you hear, you can drop us an email and send us a DM. And if you're an age grouper and you've qualified, we'd love to hear from you and have you on the show. And we're getting down to the bare bones of guests that we've got left to interview. So if you are interested, just get in touch and let's hear your story. Again, just drop us an email or a DM, and we'll sort something out. I hope you're all okay and your training and racing's going well. And I just saw on Instagram that Brock Gibbs, who was on episode 15, who was the author of My Co-Workers Think I'm a Pro, was racing in the Ironman 70.3 World Champs in St. George, Utah. And unfortunately for Brock, he had a bit of a wipeout and he broke his collarbone, so he had a DNF. So I hope you get well soon, Brock, and have a speedy recovery. It's horrible when I hear things like that. It's just not nice to hear. Another race cancelled as well. Bermuda, the Sprint Triathlon and the Relay Triathlon races have now been cancelled due to a spike in COVID over in Bermuda. So that was big disappointment for a lot of people that were supposed to be racing out there. But there was a return to age group racing in Almere, where they had the long distance and the aquabike champs, and they took place, with Britain winning 12 medals in the aquabike and 9 medals in the triathlon champs. And for the full results, you can head over to British Triathlon, and they've got them all on there. On this episode, we have Lynn Munro, who I first met while we were taking part in the virtual duathlon series during lockdown, which was successfully put together by another age grouper, Nick Price. And Nick was the very first guest on the podcast, and he was on episode 2. And if you haven't heard that, go back and have a listen. Really nice guy. And then I saw a post from Lynn on Facebook, and she put up about the dilemma of whether to go racing abroad or not, and I thought that's quite a topic of conversation to have. So I got in touch, and I thought she'd be a great guest to have on, and luckily for us that she's agreed to come on. So not only are we going to discuss that, but we're also going to talk about her journey into multi-sport and into age group, where she's been really successful. Really good interview. I hope you enjoy it. Lots of sport been happening over the last couple of weeks since the last podcast. The Triathlon Super League's been taking place. I think we're in race 3 that's just gone this weekend, and they were in Jersey. Very exciting racing and very controversial. The format on this one was swim, bike, run, swim, bike, run, swim, bike, run, and no rest in between. So it was quite intense. And in the ladies, Jess Lamont continued her winning streak. She's won all 3 now. But this time she had a bit of company in the guise of Georgia Taylor-Brown, who was with her all the way until the last transition onto the bike, where she was trying to get her feet in her pedals, in the shoes on her pedals, and she rode into the hoarding and crashed. She had a wipeout. She got back up, continued on the bike, and then more controversy, because during a run she was told or heard somebody shout out and say that she had the short shoot. If you get on the bike in transition and go across the line first, you get what they call a short shoot, which reduces the amount you've got to run. And there was 2 on offer on this one, and Jess Lamont took the first one, but somebody told Georgia that she got the second one. So on the last lap of the run, she took a short shoot, and then they tried to stop her because they were going to disqualify her because she hadn't got the short shoot. But she had the state of mind to carry on racing and complete the last lap. And then as she was coming back into the finish, where she'd done the short shoot, she did an extra little bit. So that took away and negated the short shoot that she'd taken. All very confusing, but if you watch it, really exciting racing. I'm sure you'll enjoy it, and you can find that on YouTube. I'm sure you can. So they did reinstate her, and Georgia Taylor Brown got second, and I think the French girl got third. So yeah, that was good racing. And then in the men's, it was as exciting, not as controversial, but there was a group of 3 coming into the finish, and those 3 were Hayden Wild, who was leading, and he got a bit of a gap and a bit of a break. Alex Yee and Johnny Brownlee. And Alex Yee caught Hayden Wild up past him. Johnny Brownlee went with Alex Yee, and then they had a sprint for the line towards the end, and Alex Yee, he won out, being the younger and the better runner. But Johnny didn't have to do himself some justice in that race. It was great to see him sort of winding back the clock, I guess. And that second place made him, he took over leader overall, so that was good for the Brits. So really exciting racing on that. And the first race of the World Championships was taking place as well at the same weekend, and that was in Hamburg. A bit of a diluted feel because most of the ITU triathletes were at the Super League. But there was a few big names, and it was quite good racing. But as I say, it was a bit watered down, so hopefully when they get back from the Super League, and I think they're at Malibu next weekend, then they'll finish that series off and then get back into the World Championships. And there was also the 70.3 World Champs that I mentioned that Brock was racing in, and Lucy Charles Bartley dominated from start to finish, I believe. I haven't seen it, but it's supposed to be a brilliant race, so well done to her for doing that. So all in all, the Brits are doing really well in triathlon at the moment. It's great to watch, great fun to watch. And coming up soon, I think it's this week, I should know because I was going to go, was the ETU Sprint Triathlon taking place in Valencia. Again, I'm pulled out, not going. But good luck to everybody who's racing, especially to Karen Hames, my teammate, who's going over there and who was on episode 36. So good luck, Karen, and everybody else. Hope you smash it. Hope you have a good time, and I hope you all come back safe. I've been doing a little bit of swimming and biking. I'm still not able to run. I've got some physio booked for next week, so we'll see what happens after that. But our club WBC went to the Ocean Walker Academy over in Rugby, new open water venue that's opened up, fantastic venue, and we had a club session there, and we were practicing mass starts and individual starts and swimming together, things that you probably wouldn't do normally if you just go water swimming on your own. But it was really good fun. The weather was fantastic, and as I said, the venue was amazing. If you ever get the chance to come up to Lincolnshire and you're into open water swimming, give that a go. Have a look on the internet. He's on Instagram and Facebook. Fantastic venue, and it's great to support it. And I think that's about it, really. Yeah, I've still been following my Athletica AI plan, even though I'm not running or racing. I decided that it would keep me motivated, so I'm going to crack on with that and just keep going at it. Also been using the Form goggles. I bought Mrs. C a pair for her birthday as well, and she loves them. They're great fun, and now that you can put workouts on them, they're actually even better. So yeah, really enjoying using them. And I think that is about it. That's all the news that we've got, and it's time for the main event. I hope you enjoy Lynn's interview and hearing her journey, and we'll see you on the other side.
Thank you. Thank you for asking.
Oh no, it's a pleasure, and welcome along to Amp. Looks like a beautiful day there.
It is actually. First time in ages we've seen the sun, so I think I'll go out for a bike ride this afternoon.
Whereabouts are you? I know you're up north.
Northumberland,
Northumberland.
Yeah, Morpeth, just outside Morpeth.
Lovely part of the world.
So we don't get much sun though.
Well, you know, you've got all that gorgeous scenery. You can't have everything.
Oh, and a gorgeous coastline.
Absolutely. It's stunning, isn't it?
It is. It's gorgeous. Where are you?
We're in Lincolnshire, but again, we're close to the coast as well. So
excellent. I do like the sea.
Oh yeah. We've always lived near the sea, so
yeah. I had withdrawal symptoms during lockdown and had to go out one day just to have a ride down and see the sea, because I run with the running club I run with are down there, so I was missing seeing the coastline.
Yeah, it's amazing how you get drawn to it.
I know.
So how are you yourself?
A bit gutted. I saw the consultant last night, and the only treatment that will work and make me pain-free is to have a hip replacement.
Right.
So just got to see him and get it sorted and decide when I'm going to have it done. I mean, I think I've decided I've got to have it done. I've been on to, I put a post on one of the triathlon groups I'm on, just to sort of see what had people done after they'd had hip replacements. And it's amazing how many people are competing at a high level with 2 hips, 2 knees, and, you know, sort of all sorts. So obviously I'll be fine.
Yeah.
Gutted, because I thought maybe an injection would work, but the hip's so bad it needs replaced.
Right. I think technology's come on a long way, hasn't it?
It has. I've got friends who have had it done, but they're not as active as I am. So there's always that worry there that you'll not get back to how you were beforehand. But fingers crossed it'll all work out.
Yeah. And I think we've just got to be glad that we can do anything, really. You know, it doesn't matter what level you're at, as long as you're doing it and you're enjoying it. That's the main thing.
That's right. Yeah, it's done. And I mean, at the moment I can swim and I can cycle, so that's fine. It's just too painful to run.
Yeah, I've said to people before, you know, we're quite lucky in this multi-sport existence, because if we can't run, and I'm injured at the minute, and I'm not being able to run for must be 3 months now. We're lucky that we can do swimming and biking. So
that's right.
You know.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Sorry,
go on.
Who wants to run? I don't like running anyway.
Well, I'm unlike you. I love running, and I've really missed it.
You don't miss it until you can't do it. That's the amusing part.
That's absolutely right.
Yeah. I was disappointed I had to cancel the North Run at the last minute, because I do love that. It's the highlight of the northern year. So it was disappointing. Yeah.
Well, I think this last couple of years has taught us anything. We've got to expect disappointments, haven't we? It's just been one thing after another.
Yeah, definitely.
But we've still got our health, and we're still here, and we're still training, and you know, that's it.
That's it. Yeah. Lucky to do what we do.
We are. So tell me a little bit about your background growing up as a kid in Northumberland. I think, have you been there all your life?
No, we lived in Newcastle. I was born up on the borders in small Norham, but came down here as a child and lived in Newcastle. Went to school in Newcastle. Didn't move up here until I got married. So as a school girl, I was into every sport that you could think of. Swimming, netball, hockey, whatever was going, athletics, but always sprinting. And then left school and started nursing. And then you realise you've never actually done any formal running or cycling or swimming since leaving school. And that's when I decided I wanted to do a triathlon. I thought, I need to learn how to swim and run again. So always keen on sport, went to the gym. but then it all sort of lapsed a bit, and then didn't get back into it until I was 59. And I had always said I wanted to do the Great North Run before my 60th birthday.
Yeah.
And it was the February of 2012. And I thought, yeah, I better enter. And it was the last weekend to enter the North Run. And then 3 days later, got an email saying, congratulations, you've got a place. And it was like, oh my goodness, I've not run since I was at school. So joined a running club, Blythe Run. I didn't join a running club then. I started doing Catch to 5K, got a sore hip and went to see a physio. She said, have you got proper shoes? And I went, of course I've got proper shoes. And she went, no, I mean, have you been to a running shop and got proper training shoes? So anyway, sent me off to a shop in Newcastle. And the manager there said, my sister runs the beginners club at Blythe Running Club. Why don't you join? And I said, I can't join a running club. I can't run. Anyway, I went and joined. And it's been the best 9 years of my life. I'm 69 next week. And
Right.
It's been the best 69. It's been the best 9 years. Formed such amazing friendships. And it's just been wonderful. We've run all over the world. I had a bucket list, completed the bucket list, and just been everywhere and done everything that I've wanted to do. Yeah. So loved it, yeah.
So what's the highlight of that bucket list then?
Well, the bucket list was North Run before I was 60. And then I was reading in one of my running magazines about a triathlete who was world champion at 73. And I thought, oh, that sounds interesting. I'd never heard of GB age groups. So I read into that and I thought, oh, I can do that. I'll be a world champion by I'm 73. So then obviously I had to do a triathlon. And so that was on the bucket list. Rock and Roll Las Vegas, which was a weekend of runs on the Rock and Roll series. And then Disney Princess runs. So I've done Florida and done France. And I think the Disney runs have been fantastic and would recommend, just sheer fun. Yeah.
What's a Disney run? I've not heard of that.
The Disney runs, you have the Princess runs in Florida, and it's a 5K on the Friday night. It's a 10K on the Saturday morning, and then another half marathon on the Sunday, running around Disney in fancy dress. The first year we hadn't quite got our fancy dresses organised properly, and then we realised you just wear running gear but adapt it to looking like whichever character you are. And we've just gone on from strength to strength, and we ended up, so that year we did the Castle to Chateau challenge. So we did Florida and then we did Paris. So that was the Castle to Chateau, and that was for I think it was my 65th birthday challenge actually. So that was fabulous. Yeah. Dressed as a variety of different characters. Great fun with fabulous medals. Yeah. Certainly different, not to be taken seriously. I mean, you don't go and pay because it's so expensive. So you don't go and run your fastest. You go and you have all your photographs taken and just have lots and lots of fun.
Wow. Never heard of that before.
Oh, it's good. Good. Yeah.
Amazing. So you've done, that was your favourite, your bucket list. And I digress there from so you found out about GB Triathlon in your article that you read in your magazine.
Yeah.
So what was the progression then?
Well, the running club, we decided to do our first, and that had sort of, a triathlon was on, as I say, on the bucket list. And one of the girls in the beginners club said, let's do a triathlon. So we went, oh, yes, please. So we did it a bit back to front. We started with a park run, and then we had coffee and cake. And then we did our cycle, and then had lunch and coffee and cake. And then we did our swim. And then she presented us all with triathlon medals. We'd taken all day to do it, but we were like, we are triathletes. So on the back of that, I then entered my first open water swim, hadn't been ever in open water, in Woodhorn Museum was my first one. I did a couple of go tries and the run up to that and thought, oh my goodness, this is harder than taking all day to do it. But had got totally hooked on it by then. But the first one, I literally I did breaststroke, head out of water breaststroke, and crawled out the water, swearing I would never get in again. But then my swimming instructor taught me how to do front crawl, and he has been the one who encouraged me to go for Team GB. And it's all from there, really. I decided, I was doing the British Championships in Nottingham, and someone said, oh, do Stockton. It's a really technical course. It'd be good experience. So I did, and I thought, oh, it's a qualifier. I'll do it, secretly do it, and then qualified for the Worlds on the back of that. So it was purely accidental, on purpose accidental, without anyone knowing I had done it. And couldn't believe it. I didn't even look at the results afterwards. And then someone got in touch with me and said, would you like me to be your coach? And I went, oh, why? And he had sort of been checking and realised I had qualified. So that has been the highlight of my career, competing, putting the suit on. As a child, I used to have the podium. And my gran used to have a gold medal, and she used to hang it around my neck, playing the national anthem. And that was always, as a child, I always used to pretend I was getting a gold medal at the Olympics. So actually putting on that GB kit brought back just all those memories of being that child playing with my gran. So it was amazing.
It's a fantastic achievement, isn't it? And you feel so proud when you actually qualify, and then going through the whole process of ordering the tri suit and getting the tri suit and trying it on and then actually racing. It's just, it is, I don't think, I've said this before, I don't think there's any other sport that you would be able to do that. And
oh, no, that's right. People still don't quite understand it.
No.
When you say what you're doing and they go, but that's sort of the Brownlee brothers, or that's whoever. Yeah. And this, but it's for age groups, and it's a hard concept, I think, to grasp unless you're actually in it, I think. But oh no, it was fabulous. And my friend, a very close friend, had died, and she had left me some money, and so I bought my tri suit with the money she had left me. So that made it even extra special. So going back to the Stockton, was that a triathlon at the time, or was it duathlon? No, it was duathlon. I've never done a duathlon before. I do find swimming and triathlon really difficult. I'm not a good swimmer, so I'm usually last out of the water. But that's good, because then you don't lose your bike in transition. And it's the last one there.
There's a positive out of all the negatives, isn't there?
Oh, definitely. I get value for money because I'm out on the course for so long. So yes, it was my first triathlon, first duathlon. And so I was amazed when I had qualified. So it was a no-brainer. But that was obviously the World Championships, which should have been Almere last year, which got cancelled, and then cancelled again this year. So I've still got that qualification, I think. Yes. For
you will have. It should roll over. They haven't decided where it's going to be yet, have they? So
no. But I think I qualified. I did Croft earlier on this year.
Yes. But
I've gone up in age group now. So
I was going to say, what did you think of Croft compared to Stockton?
I didn't like running on the grass. It was the first ones where you were being set off in age groups individually. So I set off, I think I was about 5th or 6th to set off. And then I had about 400 people overtaking me, when I think I would have been happier at that time being at the back of the group rather than just having everyone overtaking me. And then running on the rough track really, really hurt my hip. So I struggled with that. Loved the bike ride, thoroughly enjoyed the bike ride. And that was great fun. And then the second run was just like, oh, this is painful. And then I hadn't realised, and I was looking at the results and hadn't realised I wasn't on any of them. And then got in touch with the GP lot and said, no, Lynn, you've gone up an age group, and I'd got a Q1 for 70 to 75, which was like,
Fantastic. Well done.
I'm not that age yet. But obviously that's for next year, and that's the age I'll be when I'm competing.
Yeah, fabulous. Well done. I was just going to say I was at Croft as well.
Right.
And I thought the first run was okay, but like you, I wasn't expecting it to be on grass, because that was never said in anywhere that we were going to be like off-road. So I didn't really have the right shoes on, but I had a good run, and then punctured on the bike.
Oh no.
Yeah, so that was me done.
So, drastic.
Yeah, but there you
no,
go.
I mean, I just had ordinary race trainers on, so it was difficult running on the grass, and it was single file, and people were in front, and it was still like COVID, thinking, oh my goodness, am I?
Yeah, I've done Stockton a few times, and I've much preferred that, to be fair.
Oh, I loved Stockton. Yeah, thoroughly enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And then I did Bedford.
Right.
On a windy, freezing, cold, soaking wet day. And then that qualified me to go to Punta Umbria for the Europeans.
Yeah.
And then we went there, and then went into lockdown the week.
Yes, I was there as well. Did you enjoy Punta Umbria?
Oh, absolutely fantastic experience. I was going to go, my husband was coming with me, but he had pneumonia years ago in Canada. So we decided, due to COVID, it probably wasn't the safest for him to travel. So changed booking and went into the team hotel by myself, and then got adopted by Karen Cole, who was just fantastic, and some others. And they just looked after me. They nurtured me. And when I was saying, oh, why am I here? I'm not good enough. They just were fabulous. And it was amazing. Loved it. Because we were oblivious to what was going on back here. We were sort of looking at it on the internet, thinking, pasta? Why is everyone panic buying pasta? So I felt very privileged that we got to race that year, because I think we were the only ones who did anything.
Yeah, totally agree. And like you say, it was such a shock to come back to what we came to, and everything that's happened since, really.
Well, that's right. Yeah. Then I got a silver medal, which was even a better bonus.
Fantastic.
So
well done.
It was a brilliant experience. And if that's the only one I do have with them, it's been fantastic. I loved every minute of it.
Brilliant. Really good. So how's it been since then? How have you kept yourself busy and going?
Well, I stuck to my training plan with my coach, ready for September, because obviously Almere didn't cancel really until quite late on. So stuck to it, and I think probably by September I was the fittest I have ever been. At the moment I'm in my turbo room. Yeah. So I've got my turbo, I've got everything set up in here. I got a treadmill, was running on the treadmill. I've got a big garden, so I had a running route around the garden when we were locked in. So I was able to do all the sort of exercise. I was doing strength and conditioning. Honestly, I just spent the whole of lockdown getting as fit as a butcher's dog, really. And nothing happened, so that was disappointing. And then that kept that going, ready for where we were going, Romania. And of course that got cancelled, and then I think it was really difficult to get motivated after that. And my hips started really hurting then, and I've just sort of stepped down a bit. And then at the moment I'm just ticking over, doing things for fun rather. I'm not doing any formal training at the moment, because I knew I wasn't going to go to Spain in November. So it's been difficult. Yeah. But I think because my hip has been so painful, it's the best thing.
Yeah. And on that, I mean, that's pretty much why I wanted to get you on. Your view on, you'd posted about whether you should or shouldn't go and race with COVID and everything. I just thought it was quite an interesting post that you'd put up, and your views on it.
I can't remember what I had said. Oh my goodness.
You'd basically said it was a difficult decision to have to make. about the Age Group World Duathlon Championship being rearranged from Almere in September to Avils in Spain in November.
Yeah.
And you said you were on about the deadline, about you were having to decide by 5 o'clock the next day.
I know, I had that wrong as well. I think
Yeah.
we actually had longer than that to do.
And then you were just talking about the variables, really, about COVID and travel and quarantine and transporting bikes and, you know.
Well, there was nobody going to take the bikes out, and
Yeah.
I would be totally incapable of taking a bike box and taking a bike to bits and building it up again there. Getting from Newcastle to Alvears, or however you pronounce it, wasn't easy. We were going to have to go down to Luton, stay overnight. It was going to be so difficult.
Yeah.
And then it was just the worry that what's COVID going to be like then? Spain at that time of year, is it going to be too cold? There was just so many things that was sort of stressing me out a bit about it.
Yeah.
Going to Almere wouldn't have been a problem because we've been there several times around there cycling and know the area, and you know, I would have gone by myself. I've said that some of the family were going to come with me to there. But it was just getting to Spain just looked so, it wasn't easy to do. And I think feeling the way I was feeling with my hip was, with all that effort to get there, was I going to be able to be the best that I could be without feeling sort of awful that I hadn't been able to compete properly?
Yeah.
And then there were so many other people dropping out, and others said, oh, just go, and you know, you've got a responsibility to go, you're qualified, you should go. But there's a lot of people I think have dropped out from it. And I think November was very late. If it had been October. Are you going?
No, I've deferred to next year. I've decided that, well, I was supposed to be going to Valencia at the end of this month to do the ETU triathlon. And obviously, like you, in the same position with an injury, not being able to run for like several months, I just thought, well, it's just not worth it. So we had booked hotels and flights and stuff to go. And then my wife got COVID. So she wouldn't have been able to go anywhere.
Right.
Because she's had to self-isolate. And then there's all this confusion about what tests you need to take. And it was just far too complicated. So we've decided not to go. And the other thing was, we were supposed to be going on holiday to Ibiza for our 30th wedding anniversary. And as it turns out, they've cancelled the flights there as well. So, you know, so it's one thing after another at the moment.
It is.
You know, so we decided that, you know, look, we've got a couple of races next year. Let's just see if that's any better. Because it's just not worth it.
No, you know, the thought of if it suddenly went on to red and you had to isolate in a hotel room, I would end up jumping out the window. I think I couldn't stay in one room, you know, for 10 days, and the cost of it and everything. But I think it's the fact, it was just so many things that you didn't know what was going to be happening. Plus, you know, I think being safe, obviously at my age, you've got to be careful. You know, if I got COVID, then it wouldn't be very good. I'm doubly vaccinated, but well, it's all a bit scary, I think, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, speaking from experience, this last 10 days when Kate got it, it really knocked her for 6, and obviously we're both double vaccinated. Funnily enough, I haven't got it. I tested, and it came back negative. She's now negative, thankfully, but it really did knock her for 6. So yeah, I think. But she's the first person that I've known to have it within our group of friends, and you know, so it was it was a bit dodgy, really. So I think in hindsight, somebody was looking over us to not go.
Oh, one of my friends, her husband got it right at the beginning. He's a mental health nurse, and he was so desperately ill. It was obviously before vaccinations and before testing even. And then I've got a friend who's a consultant on the COVID ward. So I've heard lots of her stories and how absolutely awful it's been. And that was one of the things I had sort of discussed with her, and she went, well, she says, I certainly wouldn't be going abroad at this time of the year because we don't know what's going to be happening in the winter again. And it's not worth the risk, you know, go over and bring a variant back and kill off all the friends. It's still a very scary process, I think, the whole of the COVID, and we're not over it yet.
Yeah, I mean, it is, because we don't actually know what's happening, do we? You know, with it. But anyway, but yeah, I thought that email was quite an insight out to, you know, how people are feeling about it, and how we really do like to race, but we're caught in two minds of you know, whether we should or we shouldn't. So yeah, it's sort of like struck a chord. So yeah, we'll do our quick fire questions now. I mean, I usually ask these.
Oh my goodness.
And they're quite basic. The first one is, what hints and tips have you got for anybody who would like to get into triathlon or multisport? It doesn't have to be triathlon. Or if they're already in multisport, want to qualify for GB?
Well, I've got several of my running buddies are now doing both triathlons and triathletes, and one of them she's really, really good. She's come on leaps and bounds, and I'm encouraging her to look at doing some qualifiers next year. She's saying, "Oh, I can't do it," and I just say, you know, if I can do it at my age, then they can do it, because they're all 20 years younger than me, and just really to encourage them. And you know, they all come out in the cycle with me and swim. They're all far, far better on the running than I am. But I think my one message to them is just give it a shot. You know, you can only ever do your best, and it's worth trying to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And work hard.
Yeah, you've got to put the work in.
Oh yeah. That's what. When I got to Punta Umbria, and I was having real. You were sort of thinking I wasn't good enough to be there, and they went, "No, you've done the hard work. You've qualified. This is the fun part. Just enjoy it." Yeah, and I think that's very true.
I always say that about the races. The races is like, that's the bonus. Go and put in that GB tri-suit on and racing. That is the bonus. You've done all the hard work. You've trained hard. You've qualified. That's it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Buy a turbo.
Buy a turbo, yeah.
When we came back from Spain, I went with a friend to a shop, and there was no food, so we both went straight away and bought a smart turbo, because I didn't have a smart turbo at that point. So that was the most important thing. And then being on Swift has saved my life during lockdown. So
I think we cycled together on Nick Price's.
Oh, love them. Yeah.
I don't know whether he's going to start them again in the winter time or not.
He was just amazing, and they were fabulous. Thoroughly enjoyed doing them. And then there's a running club. We had loads of things going on. We had stones being passed around that you had to find in the countryside. We had scavenger hunts. We had great fun, to be honest. It was a lot of. I think it brought the best out in people. It brought the worst out in some people, but brought the best out in some people. And I think we all sort of rose to the challenge and entertained ourselves.
Yeah, I think it's amazing how things have changed and how people have adapted.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So what's your favourite bit of kit?
I think, I love the bike. And I hadn't ridden a bike again since I was at school. And I just love, having said that, I've not been on Swift. Swift was my saviour over lockdown. Riding with friends, riding with Tri Club, racing. But I think that is the best thing. And I love my bike. I would like a new, well, no, I'm quite happy with it actually. I don't need a new bike. The bike and the turbo, I think are the best things. Yeah,
cool. Are you coached?
I am, yes. I'm not having them at the moment. I'm just having a bit of a break at the moment, both of us having a break. And then, now I'm thinking about it, once I've had my hip replacement, am I going to be able to do much before I've had a hip replacement? But then, start coaching again. I was thinking about starting sort of at the end of the summer.
Yeah, good. Yeah, I mean, most of the age groupers I've had on are coached in some form or other.
It gives you the commitment. I thought I would actually do more when I stopped coaching, because he had me sometimes, but it actually gives you that, you know, if it's down as a run, you've got to go and do that run, and you've got to do your bike, you've got to do this. So it makes you do it, whereas it's like, oh, it's nice, I might just go and do a bit of gardening type thing and not go out and do it. So it gives you that commitment, you know, to get out and do what you've got to do.
Yeah, for
we
sure.
Definitely recommend it.
Yeah, cool. What resources or books or would you recommend for people to look out for?
Oh, that's a difficult one, actually. I'm at the moment listening. I do enjoy an audio book, and I'm listening to the Brownlee one.
Right.
Is it Ali's book about where he's interviewing all his sporting heroes?
Oh yeah. I listened to a podcast, and he was on that talking about that.
Yeah. I mean, apart from them all being superhuman, you know, it's what makes them tick. And it's like, right, yeah, perhaps I need to put a few of those things that they do into place in my training and get that committed.
Yeah.
But I like the 220 magazine, and just read articles, lots of things that come online, read them.
Yeah. Cool. Good. And what is your short-term and your long-term goals?
My short-term goals is to get this new hip and get fit. I think looking at next year, because I've got the Europeans and the Worlds that I've qualified for, and just hopefully being fit enough to be able to do them. Long-term, I'm not sure long-term, actually. It's difficult when you're my age making these long. To be a world champion at 73.
Right, that's as good as any.
Well, that's right. That was what was on my bucket list, so I'll leave it at that. That would be fun, wouldn't it?
Fabulous. Well, I'm sure you know, with all your hard work and because you enjoy it so much, I'm sure it's achievable.
I think the thing is, people don't realise sometimes how good athletes are still at this age. And certainly in triathlon, because I've never tried to qualify for triathlon, because the girl who is world champion, European champion, everything champion, is just so super fit, and she can do her swim, I think, probably quicker than my swim coach does it. So I'm not qualified by the time she's even got out of the water. I've lost that qualification because she's so far ahead of me. I think I probably finished about an hour behind her in the British Championships. But so she's a superhuman mermaid.
Well, I think when people have been swimming all their life and they've started off, really, really young, it's ingrained. And, you can't, when you've not been swimming like myself, I've just started from 2012, you can't compete with that.
No.
I think that's the beauty I think that's the beauty of multi-sport, because there's always something else that you can do, like duathlon.
Yeah. I mean, the duathlon, I think, is harder sometimes, but it's not as stressful. Putting that wetsuit on and getting in the water, I find just really quite nerve-wracking. I found I've really enjoyed my open water swimming again this year. It was difficult at first, but then by the end, I've really enjoyed it. And I've done two or three triathlons, and I've been podiumed each time, but that's because there's not many old folk doing it. So
don't do yourself a disservice. You know what I mean? You can only beat who's in front of you, and you.
Well, that's right.
You've got out of the house and done it.
Yeah.
So
definitely. Yeah. Getting in the water, I had to have hypnotherapy to get me into that water. The very first lessons I went to.
So that's tremendous that you've gone to all that effort to actually get you in there and do it. That's just, well, you deserve everything that you achieve, and it's been lovely to speak to you. You are an inspiration. And Well, I think that's a great place to leave it. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed. So,
well, what a fantastic interview that was with Lynn. Really enjoyed it. From complete novice, wanting to do stuff off a bucket list at 59, to becoming a GB medal winning athlete and overcoming phobias along the way by getting hypnotherapy to get into open water swimming. And it just goes to show, doesn't matter what age you are, with the tenacity and the willpower, you can overcome lots of things. So she's an inspiration. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did, and she's a lovely person as well. So you can follow Lynn on Facebook. Just search on Lynn Munro, and you'll come across her there. On this episode, our lifestyle hack, as I said at the beginning of the programme, is sauerkraut, or sauerkraut, whichever way you want to pronounce it. And it's basically a fermented cabbage. And I used to think, not sure about that. Never really fancied it. And I bought a couple of jars, and they were pasteurised, so you weren't getting the true benefits of it. So I started making my own, and it's really, really simple. You can look at YouTube videos and watch them do it, and that's pretty much what I did. I knew the concept. So I just got myself a whole cabbage and chopped it up, put it in a dish, in a bowl, and added salt to it. And basically I used Himalayan pink salt, and basically worked that in, and the salt breaks down the cabbage, and it starts becoming more moist, and until you pretty much, the stage you want to get to is where the moisture out of the cabbage is covering it, and then you put it in a kiln jar with a lid and pop it in the fridge. And every day just open the lid. They call it burping. Just open the lid and let the air get through, and then close it again. And after about 9 days you can start eating it. A couple of tablespoons a day, fantastic for you, helps your gut biome. And if you don't know what your biome is, it's all your little bacteria in your gut, and it's becoming a really big thing these days. I'm sure you've all heard of probiotics that you can find in yogurt and things, and it's a similar sort of thing, only it's even better for you. And it's loaded with vitamin C, K, loaded with fibre and iron. And yeah, it's, if you're eating it on a regular basis, it just helps with a healthy gut, which helps with a healthy digestive system, which is where our trillions of gut bacteria live. And like I said, a couple of tablespoons of it in a wrap, or in a salad, or in a sandwich, it's supposed to be able to combat inflammation. So if your digestive system's not functioning properly, it helps calm it down, and it helps with our immune system, which overall your general health improves. But the downside of, I guess, sauerkraut, and I had to look into this, is the high salt content, because obviously you're using salt to break down the cabbage, and it can be quite high. So I think what you've got to look at and be mindful of is how much salt you use in the rest of your diet, your daily intake. And I don't use any salt at all, so it's not really much of an issue for me. But yeah, it's if you look into it, look on YouTube, read up about the benefits, and actually when you make your own, it's quite tasty. And I still haven't convinced Mrs. C to have a go and have a taste. But if you put it in a salad with things like beetroot and stuff, if you don't really like the taste, you can mask it, you can hide the taste with other flavours. So yeah, have a go, see what you think. It's really, really good for your gut biome. And yeah, so that is it. So thank you for listening once again, I hope you enjoyed the whole experience of Lynn's journey, and I hope you can take something away from the podcast. If you like it, get in touch. If you want to come on the show, drop us a message, drop us an email at agegroupmultisportpodcast@gmail.com. You can find us on Instagram at amp_1967. Drop us a DM if you want to get in touch. You can find us on Facebook at ampgb. You can listen to all of the podcasts, all of the previous guests we've had on at our website, which is agegroupmultisportpodcast.buzzsprout.com. And you can find us on Twitter at agegroupmultisportpodcast. You can also find us on YouTube at ampgb, and you'll find on our channel, you'll find all the previous episodes on there as well. And I think that's about it for now. So thank you once again for listening. And remember, stay safe, keep training, and love the process.